Welcome back to the In the Huddle podcast. I'm your host, Sam Gold, and we got a lot to cover here. Super wild card weekend. Honestly, I get the NFL's trying to brand it because there's 2 extra games ever since they added the 7th seed, but do we really need super wild card weekend? It's just wild card weekend. It's fine. Let's be real though. Was it really super? I mean, unless you're a fan of a team that won, there were 6 games and 5 of them were good. But look, I'm not here to complain. It's football. It's playoffs. I'm excited to cover each game. There were some big upsets. Going to be some good matchups coming up. We're going to preview the divisional round as well. So we got plenty of football ahead of us. Plenty of football to talk about. So let's get right into it. Texans Browns, the Saturday 4:30 game. You know, if you were to turn the game on midway through the second quarter, you're like, wow, great shootout. 14-10. Browns are up. Can the Texans answer back? Halftime is 24-14, and then boom, all of a sudden the Browns are just getting their ass whooped. And honestly, I mean, I tried to warn Browns fans, CJ Stroud is the next man up when it comes to the NFL. We already know he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, but this game absolutely solidified that not only is he going to take the Texans far in this playoff run, but I think he's a top 3 quarterback, and I really, you got to ask yourself the question, will he possibly be the first rookie quarterback to take their team to a Super Bowl victory? Ben Roethlisberger, no, he went in his second year, sorry. Dan Marino lost a Super Bowl in his rookie season. Can CJ Stroud get off to a better start than Patrick Mahomes? I don't know. Maybe not stats-wise, but I got to be completely honest. When I was watching this game, It's not even like CJ Stroud's stats every game is 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. But just the eye test alone. I've never seen a rookie that calm, poised, confident, have already that much trust and chemistry with his receivers. Nico Collins just puts up another monster game. Without Tank Dell, you put up 45 points. Now, granted, 2 of those were pick sixes. Okay, so what is that then? 28 points or whatever? 31 points? You put up 31 points against what's supposed to be a top 5 defense in the NFL in your first ever playoff game? Listen, Texans fans, you guys know I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm just telling you right now, this guy's your Mahomes. And I'm not overreacting. Maybe we would be overreacting mid-season, saying this guy's the next Mahomes. I mean, we're going to get to the Chiefs game in a second. We're going to be playing the Bills next week. But I can't lie. I don't know what I was more afraid of. Matching up against the Bills or the Texans. Because the Texans right now are the hottest team in the NFL. And you just watch it, the eye test. The fact that, Browns fans, I'm sorry. I asked the question last week, will Joe Flacco finally run out of steam? There's your answer. This has kind of been the season of quarterback insanity runs, as people would say, just quarterbacks that come out of nowhere, backup quarterbacks because of injury, have a bunch of great weeks in a row. It just so happened to be that Joe Flacco did it towards the end of the season, so it gave you some playoff hopes. But look, at the end of the day, whoever's the better unit overall and the guy that wants it more, Joe Flacco, you just saw it on the sideline afterwards. He was just dejected after those 2 pick sixes, and you just knew it was over. So I don't know. The Browns D has been great in many moments this year, but you kind of look back at it, the Browns defense has given up a lot of points in some of these games. You go back to the Colts game, what did you give up, 34 points to the Colts? I'm not shocked that this happened. I picked the Texans to win, so props to CJ Stroud. I don't know what the hell's going to happen next week, but dude, you've already exceeded expectations. Texans fans, man, you guys deserve this after the whole Deshaun Watson. It's so nice to see a Texans-Browns matchup without Deshaun Watson involved. Just saying. There's just good vibes all around. But, man, I really thought that was going to be a shootout, and then they pulled away. So, congrats to the Texans. We'll move on. We got a lot of games to talk about. Chiefs-Dolphins. Here we go. Chiefs-Dolphins, 26-7. Was there ever a doubt? Was there ever a doubt? Don't go back and watch any other episodes of me doubting the Chiefs every week. But was there ever a doubt? Come on, guys. 26-7. You come in, Tua, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, both running backs healthy. You put up a touchdown, which, by the way, the Chiefs could have very easily shut out the Dolphins in this game if it wasn't for some fluky adjustment made by Tyreek Hill on a terrible underthrow by Tua. I mean, Tyreek Hill at this point must be the king of making adjustments because Trent McDuffie, I mean, he's been playing great all season. He was great in this game. People are like, well, he had one screw up that led to a touchdown. I don't even know if it was a screw up. It was just kind of a ball that Tua hung up there for a long time, and Tyreek Hill is just so used to having to adjust to Tua's bad passes that he just came down and got it, and, after that, it's history because he's got that speed. So it was cool to see, if the Dolphins were going to score once, obviously it's cool to see that Tyreek Hill scored back in Arrowhead, so props to him, that's fine, but, the real thing that matters is the win. And the Chiefs now, I mean, Mahomes, what is he, 13-3, 12-3 in the playoffs in his career? He's finally going to play his first road playoff game next week. I mean, he just tied Aaron Rodgers for the same amount of playoff wins, and it's his 6th season. I mean, I feel like I'm living in a dream as a Chiefs fan. I was on the podcast last year. Like, I'm so nervous about every Chiefs playoff game. Are we actually going to finally get rid of our curse of me thinking we're going to be the next Seahawks? We're just going to be one Super Bowl and done. We finally went out there and won it. I mean, we could totally be humbled next week against the Bills, but, I'm already starting to get those thoughts that the Chiefs, it's meant for us again. And I don't want to get my hopes up, but, it kind of feels like a team of destiny with this defense. Our defense can take down anybody. If we just give up less than 20 points in a game, we're going to win every single game. Now, the offense, it's interesting because I think Pacheco was great. By the way, he's totally built for a game like this. Playoff atmosphere, cold weather. No one's going to want to tackle that guy. He's a beast. But, 26 points is fine. It's obviously good enough to beat the Dolphins by 19 points. But, I think a lot of people are asking the question, our red zone offense has still just been extremely lackluster. And I agree. But it's better than making a terrible turnover in the red zone. At least we're settling for field goals. This was very similar to the Chiefs-Bengals game a couple of weeks ago where we were moving the ball down flawlessly down the field. But you just see in those second, third downs, Mahomes just kind of is looking around, not trusting his receivers, and he has to throw it away. And then we just kick field goals. But luckily we got Bucker back there, one of the best kickers in the NFL. So what I'm a little bit worried about is not even necessarily our red zone offense next week. I just think, we might have a sense of a little bit of false overconfidence. I'm happy for the team. I'm happy that I saw them dancing at the end of the game. It looks like they got their swagger back. They love each other. I'm not going to really mention more about Taylor Swift because, trust me, Chiefs fan, I find that just as cringy. Okay, don't hate me for it. But, just in general, the whole stadium swaying around, team dancing. They looked, the defense, Tyreek Hill, by the way, he got absolutely demolished on one of those plays by L'Jarius Sneed, just bodied at the line of scrimmage. And you could just tell Sneed was feeling it. He's probably pissed off that he didn't make the Pro Bowl, so he's trying to show off a little bit. But the defense has swagger. The offense is doing enough. But I do feel like we have a little bit of overconfidence because we played a team that was banged up, not ready for the cold weather. They already lost 3 games in a row, so I'm not going to take the Dolphins as beating this amazing team. It really wasn't. They were destined to lose this game pretty much. So going into Buffalo next week, I'm going to preview the game in a little bit. I don't want us to get too cocky and kind of forget exactly how to game plan against Buffalo. Now I have faith in our coaches, but I just don't want it to get ahead of us that we're back to normal and we can just do the same thing every week. No, we're going to have to convert in the red zone in some of those drives next week. If Josh Allen's on his game like he was against the Steelers, we're going to have to put up at least what we did last week. So, I don't know. I'm still a little bit nervous about that. But, man, I don't take any playoff wins for granted. I'm spoiled as can be as a Chiefs fan, but Mahomes, 12 playoff wins in 6 seasons. He averages 2 playoff wins a season. We have 2 Super Bowl rings. If you told me this 7 years ago, my mind would explode. So I'm going to enjoy this win and be very nervous for Buffalo next week. But look, Dolphins, so long. You had a good season. Let's move on. Packers, Cowboys. You think the Browns lost in embarrassing fashion? You think the Dolphins lost in embarrassing fashion? How about the Cowboys raise you one? Because 48-32, it seems like it could have been a shootout. Nope. 27-0 at halftime, or 27-7 at halftime, but it was 27-0 at one point. Then it was 48-16. And then, Dallas came back with a couple garbage touchdowns, but who cares? I don't know why the computer just made that noise, but it's fine. Look, Cowboys fans, I think you you get humbled every offseason, and then you come back the next season and be like, we them boys, whatever you want to say. But I've seen some humility from Cowboys fans online after this game that they're like, you know what? All the haters, you have every right. You have every right. Because at some point, you turn it from heartbreak to just pure frustration. And, I can't believe this is what our team does every year. They're finally realizing, Cowboys fans, that this team is cursed in some way. I don't know if Jerry Jones sold his soul one day to make this team a complete ass in the playoffs. I was completely wrong. I was completely wrong about the Cowboys. I thought for sure at least they would win this game. I didn't think the Packers were good enough. Oh my gosh, the Packers, Al, you could probably tell me as a Vikings fan, there was nothing more scary than watching that game on Sunday, being like, wow, Jordan Love looks like an exact replica of Aaron Rodgers. Not even with the stats or anything, or just the fact that he's a new good quarterback in the Packers. If you actually watch him play, the way he throws the football with his little back foot, underhand twitch with his arm, whatever he does, the little release he has, and then even the way he just runs out of the pocket and holds the ball, it just looks exactly like Aaron Rodgers. It's insane. It's a spitting image. I don't blame you for being scared. Thank God Lions fans are all right, at least thank God we have this year to be better than the Packers, but Jordan Love, I don't know. Maybe I just said that the Cowboys have a curse because Jerry Jones might have sold his soul one day. Maybe the reason why the Packers are so lucky all the time is because their team is owned by the city. So there's no dirty rich guy to sell his soul, make a bunch of deals so the team has karma. Maybe that's why the Packers are just always good, because it's owned by the city. It's a nice little fun Green Bay area. I don't know. I would be so frustrated if I were you. Thank God the Packers are in the NFC.
I hate that.
I know. I don't blame you at all. Bears fans, I feel your pain. If I saw, if I'm 50 years old and I grew up with Brett Favre and then Aaron Rodgers happened and now this is happening, they're the 7th seed. 7th seed's only been around for 3 seasons now. This is the first time a 7th seed has ever won in the playoffs. And of course it was in Dallas when Dallas was 16-0. At home, up until this game. What a perfect time for Dallas to destroy their winning streak. Of course. I should have saw coming. The Packers have all the good luck. The Cowboys now have all the bad luck. I don't understand. That's playoff football for you. That's why I hate when other sports have best of 7. Because shit like this doesn't happen. The Cowboys play the Packers best of 7. The Cowboys probably win it. But the fact that it's just one playoff game makes it super chaotic. The fact that the Cowboys are done now and they have to wait until September is insane. I legit got pulled in once again, just like all Cowboys fans do. I really thought that this was going to be the year they make the championship for the first time since the 90s, and they didn't do it. So, I have a theory with the Cowboys. Do you think that the reason why they choke so much in the playoffs nowadays is because the players, out of any team in the NFL, they have the most pressure on them when it comes to playoff time? It's something with that city. It's something with the star on the helmet. It's something with the persona of America's team. Jerry Jones is breathing down your neck. You play in that big stadium. There's got to be something when you put that jersey on that's damn, there's so much pressure when it comes to the playoffs. And that's why Dak just completely folds. He had the yips a million times. He couldn't play quarterback. And the regular season's fun because, the Cowboys are a good team at the end of the day. But when it comes to the playoffs, the first thing that comes to your mind in the back of your head, no matter how confident you want to be in yourself, is this is America's team, and we haven't even made the NFC Championship game since the mid-90s. How embarrassing. So maybe it's the pressure from the fans, the organization. Maybe that gets to them every offseason. I don't know. But that's just the Cowboy way. And I know most fans in the NFL don't feel bad for them. I grew up with the Cowboys never being good in the playoffs, so I could care less. But Packers, congrats. You got to go to San Fran next week. So if your season does end, at least you had this to hang your hat on. Lions, Rams. You know what? Let's save Lions, Rams for the end because that deserves to be at the end because that was the only good game. So let's just go right on to Bills, Steelers, which was probably the worst game of the week. Not even technically by the score. 31-17, 14-point game. Still 2-score win, but Buffalo Bills go out there at home. People throwing snow all around. You get paid $20 to shovel the stadium. That's it. Like, you go out there and you have to shovel for the game. Do you realize how much snow there was at the stadium? And you're getting paid $20 an hour? I saw people that are like, they should get paid $100 an hour and then get, like, free tickets for the game. Like, yeah, they should. But, look, they got it done in time. Props to them. The stadium looked good. The game itself sucked ass. The game sucked ass. Especially for me, I don't want to play the Bills. Why would I want to play the Bills? I know how the season's going to end. It's going to end. I just said last week the Bills are the 2021 Chiefs. They're going to play the Steelers and beat them in the wild card round at home, and then they're going to host the Chiefs just like the Chiefs hosted the Bills in 2021 and win an overtime game where it's a shootout, and now Bills fans are happy, and they can go to the playoffs, and then they can lose to an AFC North opponent just like we did in the Bengals. So have fun. If you guys want to beat us, go lose to the Ravens. Sorry, I'm just scared. I really wish the Steelers would be better. Like Mason Rudolph. I saw people on the Steelers Reddit when the Steelers were starting to come back. Of course I'm on Reddit. I mean, look at me. I have a face for radio. Like, the Steelers fans were like, Mason Rudolph, QB1. Are you out of your freaking mind? Mason Rudolph? Who? I'm sorry, just because he made a couple good slants. He threw a couple good slants here and there to George Pickens and Deontay Johnson. No. You don't want Kenny Pickett next year. You don't want Mason Rudolph next year. I'm sorry. If you can't go into Buffalo, a team where your defense is good enough to make Josh Allen have one of his 3 interception games, and Josh Allen did the exact opposite. He had 4 total touchdowns, no turnovers. You're not meant to be in the playoffs. They waste a wild card spot every fucking year. Like, I'm so sick of the Steelers, man. And like, I want a team that actually has a chance to eliminate the Bills, because now the Chiefs are screwed. We're gonna have to go into freaking Buffalo, and I know what's gonna happen. I know how the season's gonna end. So thanks, Pittsburgh. Terrible game. Okay. Bucs Eagles. I can't believe it. I mean, I only feel bad for Jason Kelce. I think a lot of people feel that way. Eagles fans were nothing but little whiny you-know-whats after the Super Bowl. I tried to be cordial with them. I thought the players had a lot of class until the offseason came, and then they started making excuses. The field was slippery. The refs had it out for us. Like, and then the way they acted when they beat us in Arrowhead this year, like they won the freaking Super Bowl. No, we're the ones that won the Super Bowl. And it just feels good that they're eliminated before us. Sorry, Eagles fans. I tried to like you. You're probably the hardest fan base in the NFL to like, because it's impossible, because you all suck. And the only person I feel bad for is Jason Kelce, because he did announce his retirement today. Great career, but let's just focus on the game for now. We got the whole offseason to be lovey-dovey towards Jason Kelce, because this game, 32-9. I'll give the Bucs all their credit in a second, but obviously the main storyline is just this collapse. They're 1-6 in their last 7 games. Their defense has been trash all season, but now their offense is trash. I don't know what's going on. Matt Patricia, why would you put him into your organization? The fact that he got skinnier as well, like, that just makes it worse. You need a fat guy in there. You need a fat guy. If a fat guy gets skinny, that's an issue. That means all of his Andy Reid energy is getting sucked out of him. But Nick Sirianni, I mean, look, you just took your team to the Super Bowl last year. People are calling for your number immediately. I don't know if you're going to get fired. I'd say probably not, but man, people are pissed. I don't blame them. The Eagles just, I know I have a podcast right now, but I'm at a loss for words at how you can be a Super Bowl contender, or in the Super Bowl, 10-1, then 1-6, and you lose to Tampa Bay by 23 points in the wild card round. I mean, man, if the Chiefs do go on to Buffalo and lose, like, at least we didn't lose like some of these teams this weekend. I mean, just an absolute disaster for Philly. Seriously. I don't even know where to begin. There's going to be so much dissecting with this team in the offseason. Please, guys, comment down below, like, if you're an Eagles fan, like, what exactly you're feeling right now. Because, look, I know I just ragged on you, but everyone rags on you. Just deal with it. You're an Eagles fan. But comment down below, seriously, like, what you're feeling at the moment and what exactly you think should happen this offseason to shut it all down. Because I don't know anymore. Because even Jalen Hurts doesn't look good. So just call it. There's just an absolute terrible season for them. But the Bucs, man. The Bucs. Baker Mayfield, by the way, same amount of playoff wins as Dak Prescott in less amount of time. Dak Prescott has been on one team his entire career. This is Baker Mayfield's 4th team. And he's still got a better playoff percentage. 2-1. A winning record in the playoffs. The Bucs are just 10 times more fun without Brady on the team. Like, just to see a team... This happens a couple times a year. This happened with the Giants and the Seahawks last year. And this year it's the Texans and Bucs. Like, a team that's projected to get 4 wins. Even Troy Aikman said it on the broadcast. He's like, yeah, everyone thought this team was going to win 4 games max. And I started dying laughing. But it was true. Like, you think Baker Mayfield onto his 4th team with a roster that's declining in a team that just lost Tom Brady? Like, yeah. But they ended up having a better record this year, and they won a playoff game. By a lot against the defending NFC champions. So, Bucs fans, I mean, don't overdo it, but definitely celebrate this week. Don't be like, yeah, we're starting a new dynasty. But this is one you got to cherish for a long time. All right, now Lions-Rams, saving the best game for last. Sunday Night Football. Matt Stafford running out of the tunnel, getting a ton of boos, which... Al, how would you feel about a player coming back that has put like a decade of work into your franchise, left, and then finally came back and they're getting booed?
Terrible.
I'm really stuck between like, oh, that was sad, like that was kind of savage, like it was cool, like, or I think it was kind of a dick move, honestly. I don't think a guy like Stafford who put his heart and soul to that team, I don't think you boo him. Like Tyreek Hill, I get when we didn't even boo Tyreek Hill when he came, but Tyreek Hill I would understand because he just talks shit about the Chiefs all the time. Now I know it's mostly for playful reasons, but still, like that gives you a nice chance to boo him. Stafford has said nothing bad about Detroit. He left after many, many years trying his hardest, and I don't know, boos, man. And it came out in a press conference afterwards. Stafford was asked, "How do you feel about the Lions after 30 plus years finally winning a playoff game?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm happy for the players." And that was it. Happy for the players. Not the city, not the fans, nothing else like that. And I really wonder if that response would have been different if they didn't boo him. But that's sports. So it's like, I am teetering back and forth between like, oh, that was kind of funny. Like, that's sports. That's just what you do. You just boo the opposing guy. Maybe they were just booing the team, not Stafford himself. But I don't know. I just thought, maybe you cheer on the guy that gave you decade worth of good moments here and there. But whatever. You guys won the game. That's the last thing I'm going to rag on Lions fans about, because you guys should be frolicking around the woods this week. You guys should be shaking everyone's hand on the street. You guys should be, I was about to say offering candy to people you see. Please don't do that. I don't know why that came into my mind, but don't do that. But seriously, like, I know what it was like. Look, I'm only 22, so it's not like I went 30 years of no Chiefs playoff wins, but I knew what it was like to finally get something, out of the playoffs after the Alex Smith era. Just knowing that curse of your franchise and that monkey is finally off your back. Like, there's no better feeling. And you saw right after the game ended, this was 24-23, an extremely close game, came down to the wire. When Amon-Ra St. Brown caught that pass, you could just feel like an aura just lifting off of that, like just around that stadium of just pure bliss. And I know this seems dramatic, but like just watching Lions fans tearing up, crying in the stands, like that's what sports is all about. Like, Al, we were just talking about how much you hate the Packers. Like, I know you also don't like the Lions, but no matter what, you got to be happy for these guys. Like, any sports story, especially with the Pistons right now, like the Pistons are just the worst team we've ever seen in the NBA. Like, the fact that you have that mixed with the Lions is just a whirlwind of emotion. Thank God they have the Lions this year. Sorry, Al, you raise your hand.
Some breaking news.
Sure.
Knicks owner James Dolan has been accused of sexual assault.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing because of what the actual breaking news is. It's just so random. I thought it was going to be something NFL related, and it's just like some horrible thing that happened in the NBA.
And I was like, well,
holy shit. I swear to God, I'm not laughing at anything that actually happened. I'm just laughing how random that was.
Thoughts?
Yeah, that's bad. That's not good. I advise anyone to never do that. And yeah, he should be taken off the franchise, and that's actually huge. The owner
Of the Knicks.
Yeah, that's huge. Look, I'm not a huge basketball guy. I'm more of a casual fan, but I mean, we live in the New York metropolitan area. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to be hearing that from many people in the coming days. So Yikes. Let's get back to something a little more positive.
Sorry.
Going back to the Lions. No, seriously. Like, them crying. That's what makes sports so enjoyable at the end of the day. Like, the closest I probably ever got to tearing up watching the Chiefs was when Sammy Watkins caught that deep touchdown in the Chiefs-Titans championship game in 2019 to basically solidify the fact that we were going back to our first Super Bowl in 50 years. I wanted to tear up at the time, but like, those are the moments that those teams, those fans that are down in the dumps, like, that's what you daydream of all the time. So no matter what happens going on for the rest of the playoffs, like, Lions fans, you have this. You have this. You don't have to worry about 30 years from now. The pressure, I think, is now on the Dolphins, I want to say, for the last team that's won a playoff game. I don't know if it's the Dolphins, maybe the Commanders. I know the Raiders are up there. But you guys aren't in that conversation anymore. So, I mean, just what a game. Game of the year, possibly. Just because of all the storylines going into it. The fact that the Lions won. It was a close game. It was a great game. So, and Rams fans, I feel bad for you. But, look, if there's one team to lose to, it's a team that has won 30 years in the Lions. Like you could at least hang your hat on the fact that no one thought you were going to do anything this season. You got Puka out of it. Great rookie season. Stafford was healthy towards the end. You guys were good. So, let's move on. That was Super Wildcard Weekend. 6 games, a lot to talk about. We only got 4 games left now. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is it, guys. 3 weeks of football left. 3 weeks of football. Al, we started this 4 months ago. 4 months ago. It was what, week 5? Doing this on camera? We were talking about Chiefs-Vikings. Chiefs-Vikings. Who even remembers that game anymore? But now we're in the divisional round. It's mid-January. Let's start with the first game. Texans-Ravens. At first glance, you're like, well, rookie quarterback going into Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, he's going to win MVP. The Ravens have been absolutely rolling every opponent that they're facing. Like, this should be an easy shot for the Ravens to make the championship for the first time in Lamar Jackson's career. But I am the most tempted I've been in a long time to pick the Ravens to lose. And no one is here to pull me out of it. So you know what? You might call me crazy. This is exactly what happened in 2019. Lamar Jackson's going to win MVP. You guys got the 1 seed. But this time, another AFC South opponent is going to take you out of playoff contention, and it's going to be the rookie CJ Stroud going into Baltimore, getting his revenge for losing 25-9 in week 1. I'm doing it. I'm picking the Houston Texans to go to the AFC Championship game. Biggest upset of the weekend. The Ravens. It would be the most Ravens thing ever for them to blow this in horrific fashion. And I'm sorry, Ravens fans, for listening. So, hopefully that doesn't happen for you guys. But call me crazy. Maybe I'm just completely blinded from all the craziness that has happened surrounding the Texans in the last few weeks. Maybe I'm just right in the hype train. Maybe CJ Stroud's not ready for this matchup. But I'm telling you right now, like, I've never had as much confidence in a quarterback other than Patrick Mahomes as I do right now in CJ Stroud. I'm being completely genuine. I'm not trying to hype. I'm not trying to jump on any crazy hype train. Like, this is genuinely how I feel about this quarterback. So I think it's going to be a great game, but it would not surprise me in the least if the Texans won. And you know what? Screw it. It's my podcast. I'm going to pick the Texans. Let's do it. Let's do 25. Because that's what the Ravens scored in week 1. But we'll make it a close game. I'll go 25-20 Texans. Wow. Okay. Saturday Night Football. We got Packers-Niners, a classic matchup. We're kind of going in the chain of the food chain of teams, as you would say, of teams that own each other. So the Packers own the Cowboys, so they're going to beat the Cowboys. And the 49ers own the Packers, so kind of feels like the 49ers are going to beat the Packers. Now, I'm not putting anything past Jordan Love with this offense, but the fact that the Niners have 2 weeks off, all their players are healthy, they're at home. I don't see the Niners having the same vibe as the Ravens. Like, they don't normally blow stuff like this unless it's Super Bowl 54. We don't have to get through that. Just saying. But oh gosh. See, this is where I need to be a little more logical, because if I were to pick the Packers, that would actually be strictly being blinded by a hype train. Like, I genuinely think CJ Stroud is good enough to win their game. I doubted the Packers last week and I was wrong, but the 49ers, man, I mean, they've been my Super Bowl pick since the beginning. So I can't jump off of it now. And sadly, I don't find it to be particularly close. I think they just completely outmatch. I think the Cowboys defense has been a little overrated this year, and the 49ers defense is better. And Jordan Love's not going to be ready to go into that environment. I really don't think he is. So with a healthy team firing in all cylinders for the 49ers, I got to pick them to win it. I'll say 37-23. Let me get a 14-point game. And the Niners will advance to their fourth NFC Championship in 5 years. Okay. Sunday afternoon, we have, I am blanking right. Oh, Bucs Lions, of course. That's why I'm blanking, because I'm so shocked that it's Bucs Lions. Let me repeat that for you. Bucs Lions. Divisional round game in Detroit. Jared Goff versus Baker Mayfield. Wow. I mean, this is about as fun as a matchup as it can get. And I'm rooting for the Lions. I'm rooting for the Lions full steam ahead to get to the Super Bowl. So I think this was the perfect matchup for them. I think that Baker Mayfield had his fun at home, beat the Eagles. Great ride. You've way over succeeded this season. But this is the time for the Lions to show that they're not going to keep it close with a team like the Bucs. They're going to take care of business because they want to go to the NFC Championship and play a team that they think they're on the same level on as the Niners. So I'm picking the Lions to win it a second time in a row at home in the playoffs. 26-19. There you go. There you go, Lions fans. 2 playoff wins. All right, finally. Literally every single rant I've had this season about the Chiefs has been leading up to this game. Chiefs-Bills, the third time in 4 years we're matching up in the playoffs. This is Patrick Mahomes' first road playoff game in Buffalo. The Bills are favorites this time. And I am well aware that this is most likely the last time I'm talking about the Chiefs this year. And I've kind of been blowing this off all season, knowing that this was going to come to a head here and all the Chiefs were going to get exposed. Now, do I think they're going to get exposed as in get destroyed? No, I think every time the Chiefs-Bills play each other, it's close. So I think it's going to be a heart attack to the end. But I genuinely think, like I said with the Chiefs-Dolphins recap, I just think, if we can't start converting in the red zone, and Josh Allen is having one of his games like he had last week, and our defense can't turn him over a few times, I just don't see in this environment how we can win. And I just feel like this is the destiny for the Chiefs and how the season's going to end. So I hate to do this. I really, really hate to do this. But in Chiefs fashion and how the Chiefs have been this year, a lot of people have been calling us this name, but I think I'm just going to have to accept the fact we're going to lose. And I think it's going to be the Bills that go to the Super Bowl this year. We're actually screwed. I'm just kidding. Psych. This is Josh Allen. Boom. He's out. We're going to win this game. Our defense is going to take over because we're the defensive team of the year now. We don't need Patrick Mahomes to be all dancing around the field. We don't need Marquez Valdes-Scantling anymore because we got Rashee Rice. We got the trucker in Isaiah Pacheco. We got Kelce coming back healthy, and we're going to dominate the Bills and their house. There was never a doubt. Why would I ever pick against the Chiefs? It's going to be the Chiefs. We're going to flip the score on them just like we had in Week 14, getting our revenge. 20-17, Chiefs. Let's go. Divisional round. Just shower me with joy. Shower me with joy. Because the Chiefs are going back to their 6th AFC Championship game. I don't care if it's at Arrowhead. I don't care if it's in Baltimore. But guess what, Buffalo? We own you. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching the In the Huddle podcast. I will come back next week in a celebratory fashion covering the Chiefs' victory in the other 3 games. Thank you. Goodbye.